What's happening? This is the Tap In Podcast. We are live inside of the Tap In studio. Man, I got a special guest in the building, man. My boy Isaiah Austin is in the building. What's happening, man?
What's up with you, man? I
Chilling,
appreciate
man.
you having
Yes,
me.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for stopping through, man.
You know it.
Tapping in. Man, what's going on?
Man, winter time. I'm gonna tell you that. You know, it always gets real busy around the holidays, especially for me, man. We just had a big move. I used to actually was just up north, but I just moved back down here to the Arlington area.
Okay, where at up north?
So we was in Farmers Ranch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant like Minnesota or something.
Nah. We was in Farmers Ranch, and then we ended up coming down here because we had put my son in a private school out here in Arlington.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's what's up, man. Man, so you originally from Fresno, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you moved down here to Arlington like when you was young, huh?
Yeah, I moved down here in 8th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, is that when you started hooping or when?
Nah, man, I've been hooping since I was like 3 years old.
Straight up?
Yeah.
When did you start taking this serious? Like, you know what?
Probably when I got here to Texas.
Really?
To be honest, yeah. You know, I was just, it was casual. You know, when I was growing up playing, my dad played, my uncle played, but I never knew like that it was actually like serious until I actually stepped foot here in Texas. I remember I was at Worley Middle School, and as soon as I walked through Worley, man, it was like the first day the coach was like, "Oh, we expecting you're playing basketball, right?" So I was like, "Yeah, I'm finna play," you know. But before then, I was living in Minnesota. We had lived in Minnesota for like 6 months, and it was just too crazy. The weather was too crazy. So my mama was like, "Nah, we getting out of here." So we came down here. And like that's when we saw like the AAU scene is just completely different than anywhere else. You know, like on the West Coast, it's still solid. You know, it's real solid. But like up in Minnesota, it wasn't. It was hoopers, but it wasn't like how it is down here in the South. You know, so when I got down here, man, I was like, all right, I know I got to take this serious because you know, Kaz is looking out here trying to embarrass me.
Yeah. Was you taller than everybody then, or you were pretty much like the same height as everybody back then?
No, I was a monster. I was like 6'8" in 8th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
God dang.
Yeah.
Okay. Was you good then, or you was still trying to figure your body out and all that?
Nah, I was real good. Real good. I don't think I actually got nationally ranked until I came to Texas, but I was real good. I came out here to Texas, I was dogging shit.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Man, that's what's up. What made you, this is what I want to ask you. I was thinking about this last night. What made you go to Baylor?
It was close to where my family was. You know, my whole family was out here in Arlington, so it was right down the street, you know, straight up 35. But really, you know, like when I was going through like the recruitment process, I was also fighting, you know, other issues. Like I was going blind in my right eye. I had like emergency surgery in the 8th grade, and I ended up having 4 surgeries up until my junior year of high school, you know, trying to save the vision in my right eye, and I ended up going blind. And those were the only coaching staff that I was actually like, you know, transparent with, letting them know my situation, because they was the very first coaching staff who ever came to watch me practice when I first got out here to Texas. You know, I remember I was in 8th grade and I seen Coach Paul Mills sitting up in the corner. You know, they had said that they had heard this new 6'8" kid that moved down, so he drove down from Waco. And my first 8th grade middle school practice, he was sitting up in the corner. I'm like, damn, that's a college coach?
Right.
You're in 8th grade, you don't even think about college, man. You be like, I can't wait to be a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
You know, so it was just, you know, they built that relationship with me early.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah, they came to see you early, so now it's more of a longer relationship to when you get out of high school. Did you go to high school here in Arlington?
Yeah, so my freshman year I was at Mansfield Legacy.
Okay.
Then after that, I ended up transferring to Arlington Grace Prep, which is right there off 20 and Kelly Elliott on the side of the highway right there.
That's the prep school right there?
Yeah, that's where I ended up going. It's it's way built up now though. They got a whole basketball court and everything. When I was there, we ain't had no basketball court. We was driving down Cooper and practicing. I forgot the school we used to practice at, but we used to have to drive down the street to practice.
My son used to they used to do my son is like I think when he was like 7, 8 years old, we used to go there and they used to have games for the YMCA there. Like the little I didn't know that was a prep school though. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. Damn, Grace Prep. Okay. And then from Arlington, from Grace Prep, then you go to Baylor. How was Baylor, man?
Baylor was sweet. I loved it.
Really?
Yeah. When I was there, it was just like the basketball culture had just grown into something like enormous. Because the year before I went there, they made the Elite Eight, and everybody was talking about how Scott Drew just kept getting like these crazy recruiting classes. Before I went there, they had Quincy Miller, Perry Jones, Deuce Bello. They were getting big names, Quincy Acey from Mesquite, and he had actually grown into himself like his senior year and became that guy in the Big 12. So the Big 12, like, they started to notice Baylor as a basketball team, but then nationally, when we was playing Duke in the Elite Eight, they was like, okay, like Baylor is like an actual powerhouse.
Yeah.
And Coach Drew and Coach Tane, man, they just some recruiting monsters. Like, they know how to get guys in.
I forget what's the I'm not sure if even you were there at that same time. But it was a guard there, dark skinned. I want to say his number was like 44. He reminded me of Donovan Mitchell. And he may be just younger than you. So he may have been probably like, damn, I can't remember his name, but he was nice. I think that's the furthest I remember Baylor going at that time.
You was probably talking about Tweety Carter or Darius Dunn.
Dang, I can't remember. But I know it was a guard there that was on Baylor that was sweet.
Yeah,
he was dark skinned.
Probably Tweety, yeah.
Yeah, he was dark skinned.
Tweety and Lace, to be honest.
Really?
Both of them were some dogs. They the one who got us to the Elite Eight, for real.
Dang, okay. Dang, I gotta do some more research and see if that was the guy, because I remember while he was playing in the tournament, I was like, he reminded me of Donovan Mitchell, like both kind of pigeon-toed a little bit, but he was I don't know if he was a small guard. Shit, I can't remember.
Pigeon-toed, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, he was little though, he was short. He was small for a guard, so he may have been like 6 feet.
Oh, you talking about Pierre Jackson?
Maybe.
He ain't really dark skinned, is he? Nah, he was number 55 though.
Yeah.
P-Jack. I played with P-Jack.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He a fool.
I remember that. I was like, dang, Baylor getting some guards. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Okay. And how long did you stay at Baylor?
I was only there for 2 seasons, 2 years.
And then you went
and then I went to the draft, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And from the draft, because I know they declared you medical ineligible, right? How soon or how close to the draft did you knew that they were gonna medically make you ineligible?
I didn't know. I didn't find out until 5 days before the draft.
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna be a lottery pick and everything.
I was reading that. So what they found is you have what's called Marfan syndrome.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Do you know what it is?
So basically, it's like a connective tissue disorder. So your connective tissues are what's hold your body together. And a person who has Marfan syndrome, in a sense, has a weaker body frame than somebody who doesn't. Just because of their connective tissues are a little bit weaker. Mm-hmm. It also affects our eyes, our hearts, mainly our hearts. So a lot of people who have Marfan syndrome have to end up undergoing open heart surgery, because their aortic valve grows too enlarged and it's in danger of rupturing, basically, if they do like high intense training and things like that. So that's why, like, my case was the NBA wanted to shy away from it because they were just like, this is almost like something that is just completely out of their control, and it'd be too big of a liability factor to have me play, because NBA, you got to think, man, they're one of the 4 biggest organizations in the world, behind FIBA and the NFL, it's the NBA. So if they were to have granted me access to play, and God forbid somebody would have having me on the court, it would have tore them under the ground.
Yeah. Have you ever been diagnosed before this, or this was your first time ever even hearing about this syndrome that you had?
Yeah, this was my first time. So actually, when I was going through the draft process, I was in Chicago for the pre-draft.
Okay.
You get invited to the combine. They invite like top 60 players who are in the world, and they take them to the combine, and you work out in front of all the teams, all 30 teams. But then you also got to go through like intense medical like screenings. I'm talking about like head to toe. Like they check your head. They know how many times you done rolled your ankle in your career. They know what bones you broke. You know what I'm saying? They have your whole medical list.
Really?
It goes down the line. It's crazy. So as I was going through that, I think I was on like doctor 18 or 19. You got to see all 30 doctors, all 30 NBA team doctors when you're there.
Oh, wow.
I was on doctor like 18 or 19, and one of them had just like mentioned that my limbs were a little bit more flexible than what they supposed to be, you know, for somebody who is 7 foot. And, you know, he had kind of mentioned like Marfan syndrome, and it kind of sparked like a little bit of a red flag. He started talking to other doctors, and all the other doctors started talking to him, so they kind of like started just chopping it with each other, you know. And then after the combine was over, I remember I was about to get on my flight, and they asked me to stay to do some like extensive testing. But they couldn't look at me and see that I had Marfan syndrome. If you go online though and type up Marfan syndrome, you can look at somebody and tell that they have it, you know, that he or she has it. But my case was so mild that you didn't really know unless they took my blood. So they ended up taking my blood, and then they let me continue on with my pre-draft process. So I went all the way another like month and a half of just like working out for teams, you know what I'm saying, preparing for the draft, not paying no mind to it, because you like, shit, I made it this far, you know, like it's 1 in 5,000 people that have it, you know what I'm saying? Like what would make me have it if nobody in my family has it, you know what I'm saying? So then 5 days before the draft, that's when my results came back, and they had to tell me that like I wouldn't be able to participate.
Damn.
Yeah.
5 days before, and that's when it was in New York at that time, right? The draft.
Yeah, the draft was in New York. Yep.
Yeah. Damn. How did you feel when you just getting this news, and who gave you the news?
So it was just like my inner circle gave me the news. It was crazy because it was like the whole day I'm thinking like I'm excited, you know, because the next day we were supposed to fly to New York together. Me and my family got invited to the green room. You know, if you get invited to the green room, basically they saying you're gonna be a top 10, top 15 pick. You know, one of the first people to walk across the stage. So I'm excited, you know. So I wake up at 6 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I eat breakfast. I'm in the gym by 7. You know, I'm working out. As soon as I work out, I remember I was with my high school coach, Ray Forsett. He was like my mentor at the time. Like, I always listened to him. He never steered me wrong into no wrong direction, you know. So he was always the person that I always just trusted into, you know, and I could talk to outside of my parents, who just wouldn't judge me on nothing, you know what I'm saying? So we was working out, man, and a lot of people don't know this, but like Mo Williams is a close family friend for us. So he was at the gym. We was working out at his gym. And after the workout, I just remember like Ray was like, man, we're going to go to Mo's house. You know, we're going to go kick it, you know. So, you know, we did what we do, you know what I'm saying? We went and kicked it. And then he was like, all right, we got to go. I got to take you back to the crib. So he was just driving me home, man. And I remember the day before, he was like, yeah, you can't drive. He was like, you can't drive. You got to roll with me all day. You got to roll with me all day. So I was like, all right, bet. As soon as we got in that car, bro, on the way home, I could just tell his whole aura just changed.
Really?
Like, I felt it on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know, like, for somebody I'm so close to, like, you know when something wrong, you know what I'm saying? So I felt it on him. Like, I could still feel the shit to this day. It's kind of crazy talking about it.
Yeah.
And then we had just pulled up into the driveway. And I remember when we pulled up, I had seen my mama and daddy car. I'm like,
what they doing over here?
What they doing over here? You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah.
at this time, they had moved to Kansas. So I was like, and they drove all the way from Kansas here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking we finna have a pre-draft party or something. You know what I'm saying? I walked through the door, man. It was just like my coaching staff was there from Baylor, my agent, my little brother, my little sister, my mom and dad, and just like my pastor was there. And I was just like, as soon as I walked through the door, it was just like I got hit like right in my gut, and all the air just kind of came out of me. Cause it was just like bad aura in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, my mama was standing way in the back of the house. Everybody else was like by the front door when I opened the door. And like, it was like I could see through people. Like, you know, like in the movies when they zoom through the crowd and there's somebody in the back. That's exactly what it was. And I just seen my mama, out of all the people in there, she was the first person I saw, and I was just like, damn.
Something don't feel right.
Something don't feel right. My mom, you know, she this real beautiful lady. She had like these real rosy cherry cheeks, and whenever she got them cheeks, I knew she had been crying. You know what I'm saying? And So I had just walked straight over to her and I asked her what's wrong. Like, I thought we had a death in the family or something. You know what I'm saying? And then she had to just tell me that's when she broke the news to me that my results had came back positive with Marfan syndrome. So it was just like my world just went black for a second. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
God dang, man. 5 days before your lifelong dream. God damn, I can't even imagine that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to change my whole family life. You know, like that was my main purpose was hustling for my family. You know, trying to make sure that me and my family can be set for life. You know, so it was just like it was crazy, and I don't remember nothing. I just remember I woke up in the bathroom like splashing water on my face. I don't remember nothing after my mom told me that. I don't know how I got into the bathroom. I don't know if I passed out, if I fainted, nothing. All I remember is that I was over the sink splashing water in my own face, and it just kind of like slapped me, like right in the face, like, you gotta pull yourself together. I was like, hold on, I gotta pull myself together. I looked in the mirror, I was like, I'm crying. I was like, my little brother and sister don't never see me cry, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I gotta wipe my tears, you know, and I went out. I remember I sat on the stairs, and up there next to my name I wrote "Dream Again," you know, because I remember I had sat on the stairs and all my family members had like stood around me.
Mm-hmm.
My pastor, Ray, his dad is a pastor or a bishop.
Okay.
So he came over and put his hand on me, and he just started praying over me. And he was just like, in his prayer, he just kept asking God. He was like, I just ask that you give this young man the ability to dream again. And now it's just stuck with me ever since.
That's
so
dope.
I had to pull myself together, man. I was toe up in the bathroom. I don't remember how I got to the bathroom still to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
God. And you said nobody in your family ever doesn't have this at all, or?
After I found out that I had it, so I had my biological father, I had him get tested. I had my mom get tested. And then I had my mom was adopted, so she didn't know her biological parents. But on my dad's side, only my granny was still with us, so she got tested as well, and nobody had it. So they said it was a genetic mutation.
Oh wow!
Because it's passed on genetically. So yeah.
Okay. God, man. Dang. Okay. And so whose idea was it? Because I remember seeing you on the draft, and I didn't understand at the time while watching it what was going on. Who idea was it for you to walk across the stage on draft day that day?
Adam Silver.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He just called you, was like, hey man, we want to still have you at the draft, or because I know he invited your whole family out.
Yeah, he had reached out to my agent and told us that he still wanted us to make the trip. And, you know, that he wanted to do something for us special. We didn't know exactly what it was going to be, but he the one who planned that for us, him and the NBA.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to do it at that point? Because I know, I just know how I would feel, right? You know what I mean? Because I don't think I would have, especially when you were 22 at that time?
Nah, I was 2014. I'm 20. I was 20 years old.
Yeah, see, I know I wouldn't have had the maturity to even want to go through with it, even though I'm not being able to fulfill my dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what was your thoughts on it when he was like, yeah, we still want you to come out? Did you even want to go, or what was your feelings about it?
I kind of had to put my personal problems to the side, man, because I remember I had, you know, Ray Forsett, you know, he had sat me down like that same night, and he was just like, you know, this got to be bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? He just kept telling me that, like, it's got to be bigger than you. It's got to be bigger than you. So I was just like, you know what? I can set my personal stuff aside, you know, because, you know, I never know what kind of impact it'll have on the people around me, you know. So he was like, you know, this is the type of shit that, you know, that separates the man from the boys, you know. So he kind of told me, like, you need to do this. So I did it, you know. I put a smile on my face. I had a smile on my face all week, you know, when I was up there at the draft. You know, I didn't take no time to mourn. I didn't take no time to, you know, really lose all that emotion out of my body, you know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
You know, I did what I had to do, and I ended up, this is where I go, because it ended up being beneficial for somebody else who I never even met in my life. You know, a kid named Owen Gray, his dad was watching the draft that night when I walked across the stage. And when I came down, they had interviewed me on ESPN, and they were asking me, like, what is Marfan syndrome? I remember, like, the Marfan organization, they had briefed me before this. Like, they were like, they're going to ask you this question, and you need to have these answers, you know, so people can have the right information if they've never heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they interviewed me. I told people, like, what Marfan syndrome looks like on the outside, you know, like what to look for somebody if they have Marfan syndrome, like elongated limbs, you know what I'm saying, problems with their eyes, indented chest, things like that, skinny frame, tall. And the kid Owen Gray, his dad ended up watching the draft that night, took his son to the doctor the next day, found out that he had Marfan syndrome, saved his life because he had to have open heart surgery.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out to Owen Gray. Owen Gray, he's still living now because of that?
Yeah, he is. He's actually working. I think he's trying to be a ESPN analyst.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's dope, man. That's dope. See, I don't think I would have had the maturity at 20 to see past my emotions. You know what I mean? But shout out to Ray for even being able to guide you through that. That's why mentors are so big, because, you know, they able to see past what we're able to see as the person that's going through it. You know what I mean? So that's big, man. That's super big. Yeah. Here's the part that I was confused about while I was researching your story. Because after that, you get medically cleared and then you go play overseas. Was they not, the doctor who medically cleared you, could he have medically cleared you to play in the NBA, or the NBA was just like, it's a liability, we don't even want to be a part of it, or we won't want to get involved?
So it was a lot that went into that. You know, I didn't get medically cleared until 2.5 years after my diagnosis. So it wasn't until 2017 where I played my first professional game. But what went into that was, you know, basically I met this doctor after I had Marfan syndrome through the Marfan organization, Dr. David Liang. He's at Stanford. He's a cardiologist, but he's an expert at Marfan syndrome. So I was seeing him regularly. Like every 3 months I would fly in, because I was still living in Texas. He's at Stanford. I would fly in, and he would check my heart. And, you know, he kind of just told me one day, he was just like, man, like, your case of Marfan syndrome is so mild. He was just like, I have no doubt in my mind that you're not going to have any heavy risk if you continue to play basketball. You know, so it was something that I had to talk about, because in my clearance letter, you know, it says, he specifically writes that, like, because I was away from basketball, you know, I was fighting depression, you know, like it was literally killing me slowly, you know. So he said, like, from his professional opinion, like, he would grant me access to play professionally, like, if I was mentally right, and if it would, you know, kind of be basically saying, like, it would save my life.
Right.
Basically, because, like, people don't understand, man, like, when you these elite athletes, like, we really put our heart and soul into this sport. Like, it's not something that just comes naturally. Like, it's maybe a couple people that it just comes naturally for, but, like, you really got to put hours into it, man, and it becomes a part of you. Like, it becomes a part of your soul. Like, you mend together. So that's when people say, like, oh, it's just a game. Nah, it ain't just a game. Like, I done lost sleep about this, you know what I'm saying? I done fell in depression about this, you know what I'm saying? I done lost family, friends, all types of stuff you done lost because of this sport that I love to play, you know, because I'm a competitor. So when people just say, like, oh, it's just a sport, no, it ain't just a sport. Like, that shit saved my life, you know. It brought me out of bad habits, you know. It took me out of bad environments, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's more than just a sport. So when he cleared me, you know, we had talks with the NBA, and we were like, you know, we want to go back and forth. Like, we want to see if I can play. Long story short, you know, their lawyers didn't agree, and they thought it was just still be too big of a liability. So when I went overseas, I had to sign liability waivers with every team that I played with, saying, like, the team would not be liable, the organization would not be liable, the league would not be liable if anything were to happen with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you play at again?
Man, I played in 5 years, I played in 13 countries.
Really?
Yeah, so I played in United Arabs. That was the last place I played. I played in Puerto Rico, Mexico, Dominican Republic. I played in China, Serbia, Morocco. Where else? Taiwan. I haven't played so many places, man. I can't even think of off the top of my head. Yeah.
Are these different leagues that you're playing in, or are these, or what are these?
Yeah, so they all different leagues, man. I mean, like, basketball is such a big sport, man. Every country got their own league, their own professional league, you know. So you can go play in the corner of the world, and they're going to have a professional league. You're going to have fans.
Yeah. So. What was the best country that you like, yo, I love it here?
Probably Lebanon, man. I met like some lifelong friends when I was out in Lebanon. I was in Beirut. Mm-hmm.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. And the basketball was crazy there, man. I remember my first year there, I was playing for Champville. It was one of the big clubs, and my very first game was a rival game. And I remember we was about to go out to warm up. I was about to go out to the court early to warm up. And they were like, nah, we got to sweep the they're like, you can't go in there right now because the bomb squad is in there. They sweeping the court to make sure there ain't no bombs in there. It get crazy out there, dog.
Golly.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they sweep it with a bomb, dog. The bomb squad, they sweep the whole arena. And then, you know, overseas is different. You know, like, it gets rowdy in there. You know, they start throwing I done had batteries threw at me. I done had bottles threw at me. I done had, you know, I done got in a brawl in China. We done been in a brawl where the fans came down. They was jumping down from like 3 stories up onto the court.
Straight up?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Golly. I thought they get crazy like that for soccer over, like, in different countries. But for basketball?
Man, all sports, bro. I done seen it all.
Really?
Yeah.
God dang. Jesus, man. All right, man. So let's talk about currently, man. I want to get on basketball first, right? Because I know you. Well, let's do this. So you now working in the front office in the NBA?
Yeah.
Okay, what they have you doing?
So I'm working with player development.
Okay.
And when I say player development, it's not like court player development. It's not like we're getting players better on the court. My group, we specifically specialize in player interests. So basically, you know, we're working on the development of a basketball player outside of basketball. So whatever interest they have, you know, we work up with a lot of rookies to try to help them find like career paths that they want to take while they're in the league. And we work with a lot of guys who are exiting the league and retired players to help them find like what their passion is outside of sport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. Because I know when I was hooping growing up, I was told that basketball after like college, you have a 10-year run, right? After college, you pretty much, 32, 34 years old, relatively young in society, and now you got to figure out what you got to do. You know what I mean? So that's super dope, man. That's super dope. Okay. Now I want to get into some competitive talk.
Yeah.
Who you see in the league right now, you like, I know I could dog that nigga.
Huh? Who? A lot of them. Nah, it's a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them see me in the summer times. You know, I make my way around in the summertime.
Okay.
And guys know me, but I ain't.
You gonna call them names?
Yeah, I ain't gonna call them names.
Okay.
Guys know me.
Okay.
Know.
Yeah,
I'm respected around the country for a reason.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Who's a sleeper in the league that people need, or you think that you say, yo, dude got game?
Got game and probably don't play.
No, they may be in a small market, or they don't get the look that, you know, all the major players, but they got game. So, for example, one of the sleepers who I think is dope is Bobo. He played for Orlando.
Yeah.
Got a jumper, you know what I mean? Could take it off the dribble. He nice, but he don't get the look.
Because he's in that small market.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you on that. I'm a Bobo fan through and through. I mean, I remember watching him in high school. I was like, he gonna be a dog.
Really?
Know? And it was kind of like he had the foot injury and everything, so that kind of held him back. But Orlando let him rock. So, you know, and people starting to see it. So he about to get paid.
I remember seeing him in Denver, and I was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. He didn't get that much run, but I could see little flashes of him, like, okay, he gonna be nice because he got a jumper, and what he was 6'11", 7 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, that's the next. I was saying Kevin Durant, but he was gonna be that next one like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah,
Tall,
I agree
long.
with you, man. I just think like the league now is starting to change. You know, like when I was coming out in college, you know, I used to have a lot of ESPN analysts. They were like, "Oh, he weak. He don't want to play with his back to the basket."
That's what they were saying about you.
And now look at it. Now look at the league now, man. If you can't shoot that ball, if you can't make a 15-foot jump shot, or if you're not an elite defender like Rudy Gobert, you're not touching that court, dog.
Yeah.
You got to be able to guard that pick and roll. You got to be able to block shots, or you got to be able to spread that court, you know what I'm saying, space out and shoot that jumper.
Yeah, put it on the ground.
And you got to think, what NBA team has just a back-to-the-basket big right now?
The only person I would say who's even close to it is probably Noka. What is it? Jokic. Yeah, Jokic. Yeah.
And even he steps out and spreads the floor and shoots the jumper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that thing where like it used to be you got to have a dominant center. It's not in the game of basketball anymore.
Yeah, 'cause I'm trying to think who is a solid big man now that's in the league. I can't even think of nobody.
You got Embiid.
Yeah,
He
Embiid.
plays the 5. You got Jokic. You got Nurkic. He's good, but even he steps out and shoots a 3 now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when the Robbins brothers came into the league, the Lopez twins, when they came into the league, they wasn't shooting a 3.
Heck no.
Both of them shooting that ball now.
Yeah. I just seen a video of Dwight Howard. I guess he over in China.
In Taiwan.
Yeah,
I played out there
Taiwan.
in Taiwan, the P League.
Yeah, I seen him over there on the video this morning. He's shooting threes. I'm like, when did he start shooting threes?
Hey man,
But I
I'm
guess you
happy
got
he
to.
having fun.
Yeah.
He out there having fun.
That Taiwan league, it like they fans like really genuine love.
Oh man,
They
when
love
I
the
was
basketball players.
I was in Taiwan. They greeted me at the airport
Really?
as soon as I landed off the airport. I got fans in Taiwan right now that DM me every day.
Straight up?
I promise.
Man, what does that feel like, man? What do you? Because I know it's a.
And I ain't hooped in a year. I ain't hooped in Taiwan since I first hooped in Taiwan in 2019. I ain't hooped in Taiwan since 2019. I went out there during COVID. I got picked up by the Fubon Braves, but then COVID hit us, so I didn't play. I didn't play not one game. I was just practicing the whole time, and I still got fan base out there. That's how crazy like the overseas basketball life is. Like a lot of people don't really notice. They don't really, they don't get the insight because they don't get to see it. But like, you go to a Taiwan game in Taiwan, like you go to that game that Dwight Howard has,
Yeah.
sold out.
It looks sold out.
It's gonna be sold out every game.
It looks sold out, and every time Dwight even grabbed the ball or even caught the
They
ball,
screaming, yelling.
I'm like,
Yep.
he not even doing nothing. they was just yelling. I was like, that's dope, because I just seen Dwight on Shannon Sharp podcast where he was talking about he want to get back into the league or just play again, and I was like, that's dope to see him over in Taiwan playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it just because I'm a hoop junkie. So like, you could just tell that like, yeah, Dwight wants to get into the league, but he said he just want to play again. He went somewhere and just played, man. He out there enjoying himself. He having fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do nothing but respect that, because that's what the game brings to certain people. You know, when you're not playing it for just the money. You know, you're playing it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What advice would you give somebody that's thinking about going overseas versus trying to get into league, where it may not be, you know what I mean, they really want to get to league, but it may not be an option versus going overseas?
I would say a couple things, like, especially to a lot of guys who, want to keep continuing to, like, chase the league and chase the league and chase the league. Like, go somewhere and be the all-star of that country. Like, you're going to get the same love and attention that you want from that country as you think that you're going to get from the NBA. Because, if you're not the elite of the elite, it's hard to get into the NBA. It's 450 players, dog. 450 players in the NBA this year, and 20% of them won't be in the NBA next year because a new batch is coming in this upcoming year. You know what I'm saying? So, like, go ahead and enjoy your journey. The basketball, it'll take you all over the place. Like, it took me to 13 countries in 5 years. Man, my little man right here,
Yeah.
He got dual citizenship in Belgrade, Serbia.
God.
You know, Serbia is the number 2 basketball country in the world, behind the USA.
Yeah.
So when he gets old enough,
he can go back.
He can go play on their Olympic team. If he don't want to play for the USA side, he can play on the Serbian Olympic team. My son was born in Belgrade. You know, it's like, and then I've experienced things that, you know, just kind of like open my eyes to the world. Like, here in America, we're so protected, man. Like, we don't really notice how good we actually have it. You know, remember the bomb that went off in Beirut at the harbor?
Not really, no.
So if you go online, you look it up. It happened like I think it was like 2 years now.
Okay.
I guess they had it was either a warehouse or a ship or something, but it exploded, and half of Beirut got blown up. I was living out there, man. Like,
at the time,
we left 3 weeks prior to that blowing up. So like, you just got to keep it in perspective. Like, that could have been us. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why I tell people, go ahead and travel the world and go ahead and just experience things that you're not going to experience. Like, you gotta get out of your city. You gotta get out of your hood. You know, get out of your state. You know, sometimes just so you can experience the world, because it's way more to offer than just what's in front of you.
Yeah, man. I think anybody, once you're able to start traveling, like, I think your mind expands just to see how other people live. You know what I mean? And once your mind expands, it can't squeeze back in. It doesn't shrink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now you get a whole perspective of just life. You know what I mean? And I don't think people like that's in their hood every day or just, you know, just experiencing the States. Once they get out of the States, they're able to see like it's a whole bunch of to do in the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And basketball could be that vehicle to get you to be able to see and enjoy the world, you know what I mean?
Exactly. But
yeah,
like, as far as like basketball advice that I would give somebody who wants to go overseas, you better be in shape, man.
They be running.
Hey, make sure you come in the market in shape. Do not think that, you know, that you're gonna get yourself in shape in preseason, because they will cut your ass quick.
Really?
If you don't come in shape,
it's
they're
done.
not even gonna deal with you. They're gonna be like, you know, we gonna next.
Really? They that cutthroat?
Easily, for sure.
What's the money situation over there? Is it more?
It's not more than the NBA. No, the NBA is the highest paying league, and then I would say the second highest paying league, it could be either Euro League or China. You know, because Euro League is like, that's where the best basketball players in the world preside if they don't play in the NBA. And then even some of the best basketball players in EuroLeague have opportunities to come and play in the league, but they don't want to leave their situation because it's so good out there. Like a guy like Mike James, he was with Brooklyn a little bit in the bubble, right? But he's Kobe in Europe.
In the EuroLeague, really?
He's like a Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like, they love him. You know, a Will Clyburn. You know, a guy like Will Clyburn. He's like a Kobe.
Really?
He can go to any club he wants to in Europe, and they're gonna pay him what he wants. He got to tell him, hey, he gonna tell him like, hey, I want this price. They got to pay him that. Cause he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? So like, you just gotta. It depends on where you play at.
Yeah.
For real.
Golly, man. So I guess it's maybe opposite for women's basketball, where it's more overseas than what they get paid over here.
Yeah. Women get paid. I know women who get paid a lot overseas than what they get paid in the WNBA. But they are starting to make changes in the WNBA. So hopefully, you know, they change it enough to where we can get our women to stay here stateside, and they don't have to go play a double season and put more wear and tear on their body, you know.
Yeah. Was you at Baylor when Brittany was there?
Mm-hmm.
You and Brittany, y'all cool, or you know?
Yeah, that's my dog.
What do you think about going her situation, man?
I'm sick about it, dog.
Yeah?
I'm sick about it. Because if you know Brittany Griner, you know that, like, she is just, like, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, man. Like, you walk on campus, you follow her on campus, she was ride her longboard on campus.
Really?
Yeah, she was riding a longboard all along campus. She would say hi to everybody, dog. It wasn't a person who she didn't like. It wasn't a person who didn't like her. like she just one of those genuine people, man, who just always gave love and showed love, and like to see what's happening to her right now is just it's sickening, dog.
And I heard that she was over there for a vape, like a little vape thing.
I don't even know what she got caught with, but it was under the amount that they needed to take her in, and they still took her in just because of, they're calling it war tactics, so it's
that
sick,
sucks, man. That sucks. And she's been over there for a year or something, right?
Yeah, now she closing in on about a year.
God,
and the crazy thing is every year after the WNBA season, she goes and plays out in that country. Every single year. Since she started in the WNBA, she's been going back to that country and playing because they love her out there. But they're just trying to use and abuse it.
Damn. That sucks, man. Yeah, we gotta do something. Hopefully the government gets it. I mean, I know they attempting to try to do something, but I hope they do something to bring her home, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I really hope they do, man. Are you still hooping now? Do you still?
Yeah, I still hoop, man. The past 2 summers, I've been playing in the Big 3.
Okay, Ice Cube joint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
Who's on your squad?
Swaggy P.
Swaggy's on your squad.
His fat ass.
Okay.
And Gilbert, crazy coach.
You play with Swaggy and Gilbert?
Yeah.
What? Oh Lord.
Yeah.
What's that team
dog,
like?
Man. Crazy as hell, dog. Insane.
Did y'all win?
Nah, we was terrible both years.
I can imagine.
We was terrible.
And then 5 people on the team, though?
Yeah, it's 5. Yeah.
Okay, who's the other 2?
My first year we had me, Perry Jones, Swaggy, and we had who else did we have? Oh, Elijah. We had Elijah and Jordan Hill.
Okay.
Elijah, he a dog though.
Really?
A dog, yeah, for sure.
Okay. When does the big league come out? When does it actually start? Because I always just see promotions that y'all playing games.
Summertime, like I think around June is when we start.
Okay.
The combine is in May, and then we start playing June and July, and then early August is like either the championship round.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's dope that Cube started his own league, man.
Yeah.
That's super dope, man. How did you get involved? Who invited you to come and play, or was it Swaggy and Gil?
Nah, so actually a few years ago when I was playing overseas, rest in peace to my dog Andre Emmett, he was actually playing it. And I saw him playing in it, and I kept asking him, I was like, yo, how can I get in the league? And he kept telling me, he was like, at the time they had an age limit. He was like, man, you too young. He was like, keep making your money overseas, like you too young. And then they had ended up cutting the age limit to like 24 2 years ago. And then they just started calling people up, like, hey, we having a tryout, like we having a combine, you want to pull up. So I went to the combine not knowing, who the team captains were, not knowing who the coaches were, and I killed the combine. I ended up being the number 1 draft pick in the draft that year. And then I played real well my first year, so then they promoted me to a captain for my second year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. I forgot I played against Gil in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to a school in the Valley. I can't remember what school it was. We beat them by 20, but Gil had like 50 on us.
and we just knowing Gil, I know he was happy with the 50 and didn't care about the W.
We killed him. It was a playoff game too. What high school did he go to in the Valley? I remember it was like a green and white team that he played for. Like North Hollywood High or something. I don't know. But this is before I even knew the hell Gil was. And niggas was out there just killing us. And then later on, once he got into the league, I realized, oh, that's the dude who killed us.
Yeah.
What is it like playing with them two, man? Do they be arguing on the bench and shit?
Man, they like the brother and sister almost. It's crazy. They argue all the time. I'm like, ain't no way in hell that y'all just wake up every morning and just got something to say to each other every day. They nonstop, man. Because you know when Nick came into the league, Gil was his vet.
Yeah.
You know? So Gil he was telling us crazy stories like of stuff he used to make Nick go do and everything. I used to be like, oh man, I know these dudes crazy.
Yeah.
But man, it was super fun, man. I mean, some of the funnest basketball I done played.
Yeah.
So,
How many games do y'all play?
we play 8 games.
And y'all just go to 8 different seats?
One weekend. Well, this year we was in Dallas. We was in Frisco the whole year this year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Except for 2 games.
Man, I
6
didn't even know
weekends
that.
straight we was up in Frisco. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, at the Legends Arena.
Okay. Next summer, do you know what the schedule gonna be? Or y'all gonna be?
I think they talking about bringing it back to traveling every year.
Okay.
Because my first year we was just in Vegas because of COVID, and then my second year, you know, they kind of COVID was still a little bit of a problem, so they was like, all right, we just gonna do it in Dallas. But I think this year they're gonna open it back up and we can go city to city.
Okay, because I remember, I forget when it was, that they had it at the AA Center. This must have been before COVID. I remember that. I think it was the AA Center that they was at doing it. And I was like, dang, that's dope, man. That's super dope, man. Man, okay. You got anything else, man, that's coming up that the people should be looking out for, man?
Nah, nothing that's coming up, man. I mean, I'm just like everybody else, man. It's holiday season. I'm in grind mode, fourth quarter. I'm going hard. You know, I'm trying to provide for my family just like everybody else is, you know. So I really ain't got nothing else. But shout out to, you know, my brothers in the ag, man. All my brothers out here in Arlington, Texas. Shout out to all y'all. I appreciate y'all. They always show me love, man. So it feel good to be back on this side for a little bit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I didn't even know that you was down here. Because what's his name? Your boy Joseph is the one that introduced me.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yo, I used to hoop," and I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
How was Joseph? Was he nice back then?
Yeah, he was nice.
Really?
He can still get down.
I just don't see him as a hooper, man. I see him as
a rapper right now, but he can still get down for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. He went to y'all.
He went to Timberview.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what's up. One day, man, when my knees get better, I want to go out there with you and Joseph, man.
Yeah, we could line
do
it
something,
up for
do
sure.
something 21 or something. You know what I mean?
We could line something up, man. I ain't hooped in a few months, man.
Listen, I ain't hooped in a few years.
Oh yeah. You gonna be down bad then. And I don't take no prisoners.
Okay. Okay.
In between the lines, I'm trying to get at somebody.
Okay. Okay. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you, Isaiah, man.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it.
This has been dope, man. Leave your social media, man, in case people want to get a hold of you. I know they, you know what I mean, probably introducing you to them, or, you know what I mean, if they want to follow your story and what you're doing, leave your social media.
Yeah, I'm only on IG, man, at Isaiah Austin, ISAIAHAUSTIN. But yeah, man, give me a follow. You know what I'm saying? I'll show love back. You know, I'm all for showing love. You know, I'm all for giving people their flowers while they can smell it. You know, all my family and friends, they know that about me. So I just try to continue to do that.
That's what's up, man.
For sure.
Yeah. Big 3 this summer?
I don't know, man. I'm thinking about it, man. I just started a logistics business.
Okay.
So that's been taking up a lot of my time, man. I might try to go full throttle into that. So.
Okay.
You know, I really don't know.
That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yo, thank y'all for tapping in with us, man. This has been the Tap In Podcast. Appreciate y'all tapping in with us. Until next time, holla.